Hello, Metrolina, and welcome to The Advocator. I'm your host, Gwen Gray Curry, and The Advocator is a show that's dedicated to community issues that affect all of us, very important issues. And today, our very special guest is none other than Janine Glover from One of a Kind Dance School, Buffalo, New York. I know her mother, Miss Barbara's dance school, and I know her sister. But today we're going to focus on One of a Kind Dance School. How did you get started, One of a Kind Dance School, and when did you start dancing?
Wow. I started dancing at birth.
Dance out of the womb.
I was born into dance. My mother is very well known in Buffalo, and I'm just humbled and glad to be able to follow in her footsteps and being able to, as we say, fly out of the nest and soar on my own and just take what she's taught me and bring it to life. I started dancing at about a year and a half, 2 years. My mother has owned her dance studio in Buffalo, New York for almost 50 years.
Wow.
So needless to say, it was just the inevitable for me to put on some shoes that was going to just be dancing and me using my feet the way she taught me. So I want to say a few years ago, in what I do, working with adults and children with disabilities, I said, everything has such a broad way of touching people. And dance is one of those things. Dance is a universal language, as I always say. No matter where you go, no matter what you're doing, song and music and dance can bring everyone together.
Well, I see today you brought some dance paraphernalia.
There are some
dance wardrobe. Tell us something about these shoes. They look quite interesting.
They are. These are jazz shoes. And the jazz shoe is another form of dance. And jazz is not so stressful on the body. It allows for you to learn about your body and movement in a way that can stretch you, that can loosen you, and it's fun as well. Now, the tap shoes.
Okay.
Tap is something that most children start out with. Tap is the easiest form of dance for a young child to actually connect with because there is sound, because there is taps on the bottom of the shoes. Most children, when they put them on, you will see them stomping around and jumping just because they're excited. They make noise.
I see.
However, if they stick with it as they get older, they learn the art form of tap. And it grows and it blossoms into dancers such as Gregory Hines, the Nicholas brothers, Savion Glover. And I love that Savion has actually modernized tap because now the children actually have a movie. It's called Happy Feet. That Savion is the dancer who is called Mumble. So now children can say, if they want to tap, that's how we can get them interested, tell them about Happy Feet. If you want to tap, you can be like that penguin.
So how young can we take kids to your dance school? How young are you taking them in?
I take them at 18 months.
18 months.
18 months, still in Pampers, diapers, and potty training. I say the child whisperer. I love working with the kids because at that age, they're like a sponge. And I am all about age appropriate, no matter what age. And I just feel I would rather have them at that young age and be teaching them dance that is something that is respectable, that is something that is an art form, and that they can actually utilize in their life as opposed to them learning some of the dances that are in the videos nowadays. So I would rather have them learning the definition and where dance has originated from, and knowing that that also is a possible scholarship in their future going to college if they continue to do it. Nowadays, there's a lot of dance movies that are out. And you see Dancing with the Stars, and so you think you can dance. And if they find that passion and it's something that they end up taking to heart, then sky is the limits with dance.
How old can you be dancing?
Oh, I've had a student as old as 83.
83.
83.
That means I could come to your school.
Absolutely. If you can go to a wedding and they can put on the wobble and you can dance, then you can learn to do anything you want. I can teach you how to tap. I can teach you how to jazz. I can teach you how to do some salsa and ballroom and everything, as long as you are willing to listen and learn and not get frustrated and just, go at your own pace. It's endless possibilities in the world of dance.
And what about these costumes? Is there some certain costumes that go with each type of dance?
There is. Every child can inspire. And they can inspire their class, they can inspire their peers, and they definitely inspire us as teachers. And when we look at those children and we start to teach them, things formulate in our minds.
I see.
Then we start to choreograph a number. And once we have this number choreographed, now we have to put something to that number, and that is usually the costume. So there are tons of costume books that we will go through and look at and say, oh, this is perfect for this song. This is perfect for this group of kids and this age group. And then once we put it all together, it's a masterpiece. And when the kids put those costumes on, it's something that transforms them. They transcend into almost a different child because now it's all complete. The dance and the costume and now the performance, and it's amazing.
So where do you get your choreographic inspiration?
I get it from everywhere. I work with adults and children with disabilities. I work with young ladies, 13 to 17, as well as young men and just youth in general. And there's so many different things that is affecting our youth nowadays. And so I listen to their music. Even though I am an old school lover and I listen to 1400 all day long, I listen to their music because I want to be able to connect with them.
Beautiful.
And by connecting with them, they share things with me that, sometimes they may not be able to share with their parents or other adults. And that inspires me to say, okay, you're sharing with me, so I can connect with you through dance. And through connecting with them through dance, now I'm inspired to create something that they're going to like. And when you can get a child to like something and they actually love it, then they're going to put forth the effort. They are going to be determined to not only make their teacher proud, but they're going to, be inspired and be proud of themselves as well.
Well, Janine, I am inspired by you. As a matter of fact, you inspire and take me higher in the spirit, but you hold that thought about your inspiration.
Okay.
And we're going to be right back and find out the other things in your life that inspire you to choreograph the pieces that you do.
Okay.
Again, we're going to be talking to Janine Davis from One of a Kind Dance School so that you can hear more about this innovative happening right here in downtown Buffalo. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Yo, this is a story about human rights. For those that don't know, you need to. Yo, a starving artist, but his lyrics so worldwide. His friend and manager was a snake in disguise, and he was bitten. His song sold without his permission. Saw his record on the shelf, the snake had stolen his vision. But knowing his rights, he could protect himself. Fair treatment by fair courts, he got the law to help. The other dude just sunk weak, looked like a punk. Could hardly open his mouth to speak, popping that jump. You better get up, stand up if you've been done wrong. You better stand up for your rights like that Marley song. Get yourself represented, lawfully defended. Know your human rights, don't ever surrender. No, don't ever surrender. Yeah. Let's go.
Hi, we're back, and this is The Advocator, and I'm your host, Gwen Curry. And we are talking to none other than Janine Davis from the One of a Kind Dance School located in downtown Buffalo. Why downtown Buffalo?
Well, once I actually thought about the needs of our community, we were looking at all of Buffalo. and they're revitalizing the Fruit Belt community. So we joined and were a part of the Fruit Belt Coalition.
Beautiful.
And in doing so, the Moot Center is one of the places that is a part of the BFNC, and they work with the Fruit Belt Coalition as well. So they offered to allow us to utilize that space. And I know growing up that the Moot Center, that was just the hot spot for all of the seniors.
Yes.
And so I know it hasn't, had as many seniors because now the definition of seniors has changed.
Yes.
Seniors are no longer, 60. They are out and moving and grooving at that age. So the age is just a little higher now. And even at 80, they are still moving and grooving. I see them dancing and going out and things like that. So being at the Moot Center allows us to be in a location where not only are we seeing the seniors, but we can interact with the seniors as well.
Absolutely.
And the children get a chance to interact with them. And the seniors love to see the children when they're there and they're dancing, and they love to see that they're doing things that, make people happy, and it makes them happy. So we like that location, and we love working with the Fruit Belt Coalition as well as the Moot Center.
So you're doing sort of an intergenerational transfer of information.
Yes.
in movement. Do you have any classes that are a little bit less agile and mobile for seniors, like chair tap or chair ballet?
We do, not necessarily in the chair, but we do monitor how we do our lessons, and everything is pretty much geared towards every different age group. So when we are teaching, especially the adults, it is at your own pace. So even though I may be going at 100%, someone else may say, well, today I'm just not there. So I may only need to go at 20%. However, as long as you're moving and as long as you're retaining the information and you're, still learning what it is that's being taught, you're burning some calories, you're still having a lot of fun, and you're learning what needs to be learned in the class.
Talking about burning calories, what about the obesity epidemic and prevention? Is this a form of prevention? I've heard many, many conflicting stories.
I always say it's not necessarily how you move. It's when you move. You can do a lot of movement all day long and dance all day long. However, if you eat at midnight, it kind of negates what it was that you did. So it's just a matter of if you are eating at the right time and you've already done what it was that you need to do. I think that kind of helps with the weight that ends up being put on. I know I used to work overnights, and that was when I would eat sometimes because I'm awake. And it's not necessarily when you should be because you're usually asleep. So once I actually wasn't working overnights anymore, I started to drop some of the weight that I had put on. So a lot of times it's just when you do it, not always what it is that you're doing. But dance is always a great form of movement to help you, drop some weight as well as burn some calories and have fun.
Do you teach the yoga classes? Is that a yoga part of this too?
I don't teach the yoga. However, I do a slow burn workout.
Okay.
And the slow burn workout, it definitely gives you a workout, but I focus on certain parts of the body that are forgotten. A lot of times we are so used to our daily life. We're used to walking. However, when we do the slow burn workout, sometimes you may say, oh, I have a cramp in my foot, because we forget that there are lots of muscles in our bodies that we tend to forget about. And some of the relaxation techniques that I do, some people are like, wow, I didn't realize I had tension in my shoulders, because we don't necessarily pay attention to those smaller things. So that slow burn workout kind of relaxes you and allows you to release some of the tensions as well as burn the calories and have some fun. And it's a lot of fun just being around other people dancing.
Well, it sounds like you're creating your brand, and I want you to just speak a few minutes about your brand.
Well, with One of a Kind, we do have a mission statement, and it's that dedication produces achievement that will nurture one's creativity and education. And it spells dance as well. And because of that, dance is something that's educational. Dance is something that can stand the test of times. And we want to be able to nurture everyone through that process, and so that they can learn the art of dance and the joys that it can bring, and how much happiness most people find when they're dancing. If you hear a song that you like, it can take you back to a moment. It can make you want to pull over and just get out and just dance to it. And that's a universal language. It's almost like football. If people love the Bills, then they're going to love the Bills all day long. And so it's no different than with dance. Certain music can inspire everyone to just get up and dance at the same time. And I always say it's something that can bring people together. And if you can bring every person together that are different generations and different ages, then that is a start of something beautiful. And that is the start of something that can last forever. And that's a universal language that can open up a conversation between people that may have never have spoken before. And with One of a Kind, that is something that we want to be able to do, is through dance, open up the lines of communication within the city of Buffalo, so that people can say, hey, you know what? I can't believe that you can actually do that through dance, because you can praise and worship. You can, step. You can tap, you can do jazz, gymnastics, and everyone can experience it and love it and enjoy it as well. A few years ago, dance was nationally considered a sport now. So we're doing great things with dance.
Sounds like you're talking about utilizing dance. Dance can help us communicate across our differences in a city that's so diverse and so many differences. Can dance do that? Is dance that medium that can help bring us together?
Absolutely. Dance is definitely strong enough to be able to bridge the gap. Dance has many different abilities. There are people who are dancing who are in wheelchairs. There are people who are dancing who are missing limbs. So dance is definitely that universal language.
Hold that thought right there, and we'll be right back. You stay with us and hear more about the art of dance on The Advocator with Janine Glover, our guest at One of a Kind Dance School, right here in downtown Buffalo, New York. Thank you. I'm Gwen Curry, and you're watching The Advocator. And today, our guest is none other than Janine Glover from Buffalo's very own One of a Kind Dance School in downtown Buffalo, New York. Welcome, Janine Glover. You have explained so many wonderful things about the psychology of dance and how dance will help us communicate across differences and how you got into the business. Now we want to know some particulars about your school, if there's any particular technique that you use which makes you so innovative. I've heard about you. I know your works. So tell the audience what it's all about, what makes you so different and so unique, and give us a lineup of your classes.
I think what makes me different and unique is that I never go into anything with an expectation that I have to have. I go into it trying to learn my students. I like to know my students, because if I learn them and I know them, then I know what it is that I can get out of them. And then that's what I work for. That's what I work towards. And they feel that. When I've taken the time out to get to know them, they appreciate that. Because now I know what your strengths are. I know what your weaknesses are. And so I know what it is that I can work with you on to get that desired result, so that they can be happy. And if the student is happy and the student feels like they've grown and that they've learned something and that they're doing well and they're growing and learning, they are going to continue with what it is they're doing. They're going to be inspired themselves and they're going to want it just a little bit more. It's no longer going to be what someone put them in. It's going to be something that they desire to do. And so for me as a teacher and as an instructor, that inspires me to want to keep doing what it is that I'm doing.
And I understand you're branding yourself, and you came from a line of dancers, and your great mother, Miss Barbara Glover, Miss Barbara School of Dance. How are you branding yourself in the world or in the universe as a dance instructor, a dance mom, and a dancer?
Right.
Tell us about that.
I think I'm branding myself in just me. Everyone who knows me, they just know that I'm that person. I am going to give 100%, past 100%, and then some. And I'm not going to stop until my student is smiling and my student feels when they leave that they've accomplished something. And I think with that, everything else just, comes in its own, time. I think God has just said, you know what? Just take what I've given you and take that gift and just do it and do it to the best of your ability. And then that's all that I can do.
So tell us where you're located. How can we get in touch with you? Your days of operation.
We are right now located at 292 High Street, which is the Senior Mood Center.
Okay.
And we have classes on Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. We have a One of a Kind Dance Facebook account. We can be emailed at oneofakinddance@gmail.com, and it's the number 1 instead of ONE.
Okay.
So that's something that, was unique about us, because we want to be one of a kind. We want to be that dance studio that, it stands out and is given just a little bit more. And the phone number we can be reached at is 716-563-1482 or 716-553-3507. We always are able and willing to accept anyone who would like to try dance. Okay. Sometimes you just have to say, I don't know just yet if I'm going to like it, but I'd like to see, I'd like to try. And that's when they make their decision. We've gotten a couple of calls to do some weddings and things like that. So,
Awesome. When do you start up again? What is your start date? So if we want to register children, when are you starting up your session?
We will be starting up in mid-September. We always try to wait until after school, after everything is situated with getting all of the kids' supplies and getting all of those necessary things for schools, because that is definitely a lot to have to deal with. So
we can get them some of these.
Yes, that is true. We always will have the information of where they can get it. And what we do is at our dance studio, usually ballet is something most kids will not choose immediately. However, ballet is the foundation to dance. It's something that teaches, the children about their core. So if you register at One of a Kind Dance and you are taking at least one class, ballet is offered free of charge.
Awesome. Give us that number again.
Gladly.
Your phone number and your email. We need that again.
Oh, well,
I'm excited. One of a Kind sounds like it's the place to be mid-September.
We are trying to be that place. The phone number is 716-563-1482 or 716-553-3507. And our email address is the number 1ofakinddance@gmail.com.
And you and your sister, your mother are all dancers. Was your grandmother a dancer too?
She danced. Her and my uncle, Buddy, Howard Powell, they used to jitterbug.
Oh my, what a rich
Yes.
history of dance.
And my mother and her brothers, my Uncle Alan Martin and Harold Martin, all three of them used to tap together. They were a trio.
Oh, they were wonderful. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. So you're going to start up mid-September.
Yes.
We're going to be ready to get our dancing shoes then. And no matter what your age group, 18 months to 81 years old, we can come to your school.
You most certainly can.
Downtown Buffalo. Oh my goodness. Now tell us about your school again. Just tell us where it is again.
It is located at 292 High Street, the Senior Moot Center. It's right up the street from Buffalo General Hospital in Roswell.
Medical quarter.
Yes, the medical corridor. So they are revitalizing downtown. So we are happy to be a part of that, as well as the Fruit Belt Coalition and the BFNC. And, you know, we just want to make sure that we're around, and hopefully when those nurses and doctors need a break, they can come down to us.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we want to be able to go and maybe do some things with physical therapy and helping them dance at the hospital. So yes.
Dance their way out of their sick beds.
Absolutely. Movement and burning some calories always has a way of getting you up and just getting rid of the sickness. So
Janine Glover, one of a kind.
yes.
There's only one. Do you plan on getting chains of one of a kind?
You know, I don't want to do something like that. I think when you build a family and you stay in one location, then it always makes for a better product.
Well, you have brought to us a rich heritage. Your innovative, creative self has really come to light. And thank you for staying in Buffalo and growing with us. Just give us that number one more time, and we will be calling you and registering our children and our grandchildren.
Oh, I look forward to it. The number again is 716-563-1482 and 716-553-3507.
Janine Glover, one of a kind, dance school, Buffalo, New York. And this is the Advocator. And we're concerned about sharing with you all the issues that affect the entire community. And she's highlighted for us those kinds of things that dance would help. Help us with our weight, our energy, increase in energy, and helping us mostly to communicate with this universal language of movement across our differences, bringing the community into oneness through movement and dance. Janine, and you truly are one of a kind, and your studio is downtown, easy access. We look forward to great things from you.
Thank you. I look forward to giving some.
Yes, and come back to the Advocator and let us know how you're doing, because these issues are so important to us. And anything that's coming up about your agency, we love to know so that we could bring it on in. This is the Advocator. You've been watching us, and stay tuned. We'll be coming with more innovative information about the issues in the community that concern all of us. And Janine Glover, one of a kind dance school. We love you, and we thank you for coming to share with us. And we look forward to seeing many, many years of dance and activity through you, as you. God bless you.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching The Advocator.